The Vision gets one over again on CM Punk and this time Rey Mysterio. I don't know about Monday Night Raw, man, but we're gonna break it all down. So welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 73. And we are talking about the pre-taped Monday Night Raw from December the 22nd, the year of our Lord, 2025. And I think this is it for this year. I don't believe there's another episode next week, is there? Because everything's just gonna go for the Raw debut in 2 weeks, right?
I would think so.
And I would imagine everything's just gonna be best of stuff, kind of like they did last year for next week. But I guess we'll have to wait and see because I know that this episode was pre-taped, so hard to believe they would have pre-taped two in a row. But I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
think they did.
Let's uh let's break it all down. As always, I am Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill, and we are here to talk about Raw. So the main kind of segment of the show and the main sort of I guess episodic thing story they were trying to tell, if you will. I don't know. It seemed like very mailed in. This whole show seemed very mailed in, but it was really trying to focus itself on Austin Theory a little bit, was I would say overall premise of the show. So early in the show, Paul Heyman was confronted by Austin Theory, asking what Theory was thinking in his various masked attacks since Survivor Series. Theory said he was done waiting he was done waiting and is following the Vision's path by taking and not waiting. He stressed that he was going to take. That's his new thing. I'm just going to take. Theory offered to help in the Vision's match with CM Punk and Rey Mysterio in the main event, which later saw Paul Heyman tell Breaker and Bronson Reed to remember where they were a year ago and to let Theory have one of the main event spots to prove whether he can be a member of the Vision or not. Which obviously led to our main event, where Austin Theory and Bronson Reed did defeat CM Punk and Rey Mysterio via pinfall when Theory hit Mysterio with the blackout. After the match, Punk saved Mysterio from a kind of a continued beatdown as he was out of the ring. So he chased Theory out of the ring, which allowed him to turn around into a spear from Braun Breaker to again build up momentum for that title match that is coming up in 2 weeks. So that was overall kind of the premise there. But how do you feel about it, and where do you think we go from here?
So I never have super high hopes for pre-tape shows because usually they are just playing it safe to get through till the next actual live show again. Especially when you consider that since it was taped, things may have gone on that would impact if it were live, like Dom Mysterio, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. But
Hmm.
um, the as far as this goes, I think that they're actually doing it correctly with the Vision. I mean, yeah, it leads you to believe that the fact that Braun Breaker keeps standing tall every single week is going to go with the normal booking of WWE, where the guy who never gets one over is the guy who ends up retaining. I think WWE should do the smart thing and pull a swerve with that and have Braun actually win. I mean, you're building the Vision up as this powerhouse group, having them constantly defeat your top guys and your top title holder. I think that that's the way that you do it. You want to prove that they're a force without Seth Rollins, and I think they're actually doing it correctly. But I still don't trust WWE to not do the smart thing and not put the title on Braun. And honestly, I really enjoyed what Theory's little promo at the beginning and the fact that he referenced how he blew opportunities basically and then got hurt and it was given previous opportunities and didn't do anything with them. I think that this darker, like, I'm going to be more kind of selfish Theory is a pretty good version of him, especially if the theory out there comes true that he could still be working for Rollins too.
Right. There's a lot to unpack there. I'll start with Austin Theory. I like the quote unquote character refresh.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good thing for him. I hope that he can kind of continue the momentum that he has. I worry that he is going to be used as the guy to take all of the pins in the Vision. That's kind of where I see him going because I don't think they've built up. Obviously, Braun Breaker's the leader. He's very rarely going to lose, except maybe we'll talk about his match with CM Punk in a minute. Um, and with Bronson Reed, they've built him up so much. They've had him beat Roman Reigns. They've had him beat all sorts of people. So I feel like they're gonna not have him lose too much either. So I wonder. And Logan Paul, I don't really count him because he's special attraction. Like he's not gonna be
He
there
comes
every
and
week.
goes.
Yeah. So I just wonder and maybe worry if Austin Theory will just kind of be there to take the pin. And then another thing I wanted to note as well is I, other than the match with Javon Evans, this was the only other match I actually kind of watched the whole thing. I watched most of the Bailey match too, but um I just his in-ring work, it's exactly the same as it was before. It's no change. It's very 2000s WWE, Vince McMahon WWE, very rest hold, very slow. His move set isn't very for a guy who's his size and for a guy who I guess is trying to do a complete character reset. I'm just kind of surprised that like his wrestling style isn't in any way different. And it may maybe just adding a move or two or something, but he wrestles exactly the same as he did before.
I mean, Theory's always been your stereotypical wrestler's wrestler, even like going back. That's why Vince handpicked him to be his guy. You know what I mean? Like Theory, but when you consider the fact that look at everybody that Theory's worked with, and I feel like he's better built to be part of a group, and as long as it's not like a comedy group, I think he fits in as that prototypical wrestler, like the wrestler, you know what I mean, of that group.
Mhm.
Like
I mean,
get him
that's
as
fair.
far away
Like,
from.
and I don't want to sound like a dick, right? Like for criticizing the guy's wrestling. Like obviously I couldn't get in there and do that. I just maybe I was just expecting a little more, because Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, I mean, yes, they've both been around for a while, but one was in NXT. Actually, both were in NXT and they had very short stints on the main roster before they kind of came into this Vision thing. So they feel fresh, you know? Whereas Theory, although the character is a little bit different, he was still kind of a dick heel beforehand. Now he's just more of a serious heel. So
Yeah,
it seems a lot of the same to me. And I think I need a little bit more. And I know it's only been 1 week and it was a pre-tape show, so I'm willing to give it more time. I just, I don't know. WWE creative, man, is just, they've been asleep at the wheel for forever here. And I really don't want them to screw this up because I kind of think that this is this kid's last shot.
I 100% agree with that, and it's through no fault of his own either, which is with the part that sucks. I mean, when he was part of the Way, fantastic till he got hurt. When he was part of Rollins' original group, fantastic till he got hurt. When the Waller and Theory thing was going on at the beginning, when they were serious before he got hurt, not bad. The problem was he's another guy who his career keeps getting derailed by injuries, and basically any stories that it starts immediately get stopped, or through the bad luck of starting a focused storyline tied to Vince McMahon right before Vince McMahon gets blacklisted. Like I I think it's just he's a victim of poor circumstance and definitely some poor creative. What I would like to see out of this, you're right. I would like to see maybe a couple new moves. I doubt we're going to see it because Bronson and Braun bring so much other stuff to the table that I feel
Mhm.
like they want to have a normal, easy person to fall back on. But as far as Theory himself goes, I would like to see him highlight the selfishness of him. And I would like that to come into play as part of the vision, like cause conflict within the vision itself. Because at the end of the day, Theory basically said he's going to do shit for himself.
Yeah. So that takes me to obviously to CM Punk, right? And he did have another segment, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But obviously, the match between Punk and Breaker is really all that is, in the immediate future, right here. So, how do you think that that goes down? Because I am really of the mind that Punk is going to win. But I mean, how does this go down other than Brock Lesnar?
So I'm not sold on Punk winning yet. I'm about 70-30. I think there still is a chance that Braun could go over. It's lessening every week. You know what I mean? With the the fact that Braun has come out on top every time. But I do think that if there's somebody intelligent in the WWE writers' room, I don't give a damn if it's Triple H, but somebody back there needs to say, we need to go against the norm here and have Braun just come out and like spear, 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 and just demolish Punk because Punk is better chasing the title, and I think that that would just strap like a nuke to Braun Breaker's back, like to come out and just demolish Punk like that and win the title.
I mean, maybe, but then what do you do then at that point? Like, where do you
I
go from
think
there?
you have Punk chasing it. You have Lesnar getting involved because Lesnar decides he wants a title shot for helping them at War Games. You have Lesnar versus Braun, maybe versus Punk at WrestleMania.
So that takes me to, we might as well just cover it now. Um, so Gunther obviously came down to the ring to once again trash John Cena, and the same kind of promo he cut previously, but Punk's music hit, and Punk came to the ring and gave him a really nasty stare down
Mm-hmm.
again. And we also obviously saw AJ Styles kind of get in Gunther's face again. So I would imagine AJ and Gunther might have a match sooner rather than later, then maybe which will lead to like a retirement match probably towards the end of the year when AJ's ready to go. So I would guess we'll probably see that one between AJ and Gunther sooner rather than later. Then they'll probably have, their retirement match to which Gunther will win likely later on. Going with that legend killer thing, which by the way, we said it first. We absolutely said it
Yep.
first on this channel because I've been hearing it all over the place now. Like we said this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this past week I've heard it everywhere. So I just wanted to throw that out there that you
Got
heard
it.
it here first on 716 Sports. Um, but with that being said, are we just gonna go right to Gunther versus Punk for the title if Punk wins? And then we're
No.
just gonna have Braun
Um,
and
I think that, I mean, if Punk wins, yes, maybe we go right to that. But I also feel like the Gunther Punk thing might have been done just to set up something down the road. I personally think that what's going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen at the Netflix debut or anniversary show, but I think that at some point here down the road, Gunther is going to cost Dragon Lee and AJ Styles the titles in one of their title defenses since they're fighting champions and they're defending it relatively often.
Braun.
And with Styles making a point to keep standing up to Gunther and Gunther going out of his way to call AJ Styles a cruiserweight. I think
Mhm.
that I really do feel like that's the path we're going to take leading up to AJ and his retirement is that that Gunther's going to cost them their titles. I don't know against who, but that's my prediction. You hear that here first. Got it, since we apparently have to call that now because credit where credit's due. You did call it first with the Legend Killer thing. But I personally think if Punk wins, yes, maybe we get Gunther, and I feel like he has to go over Gunther, but I feel like that's a waste of Gunther's heat. So I think that's more in line with setting up something for further down the road if they need it.
Mhm. Okay. Um, the other thing that I messaged you last night that was probably my next or probably very close second, almost first favorite thing on this entire show was the complete repackaging of Maxine Dupree. I
Mhm.
think it's fantastic. That promo she cut on Becky Lynch was the best promo she has ever cut as a professional wrestler by a mile. It was fantastic. I loved that she just straight up said that you look in the mirror and you are no longer as great as you think you are. And then Becky hit her with the cheap shot. I thought that was awesome. That looked like $1 million, and they're very likely going to have a match again. And I'm 100% that Maxine needs to win. A hundred
They
percent.
they already confirmed it. It's going to be on the anniversary show.
Good.
So I believe that another example of calling it here first, but I believe that I did say that Maxine was going to upset Becky in that match, and she obviously did, and nobody really expected it. I think the bigger thing, more so than the fact that she upset her, is the, like you just mentioned, the repackaging of her. And yes, she's still the bubbly little blonde that, or tall blonde that she is, but she's also got more of a serious edge to her now from
Mhm.
working with Natty. I would like to see them actually bring Natty in kind of as like a coach character for her, kind of like Rocky and the hell was his name? His coach,
Oh,
Paulie, kind of like Rocky and Paulie,
yeah,
or not. For
not
I
Paulie.
would like to see Natty, not Paulie, the old guy. I
Yeah,
would like
yeah,
to see Natty kind of play that like sideline role with her actually there and like keep like and like scolding her if she does something wrong. I think you have an opportunity to continue building the character by doing it that way. And also building Natty by doing that. I mean, if you're gonna have Natty be this like teaching character, I think that's a fantastic idea. And I think you're right that she needs to 100% beat Becky at the anniversary show. And I think Becky needs to keep losing her mind because I think Becky's promo was great too.
I love Becky losing her mind character. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So yeah, it was fun though. She's That's really one of my favorite things going on. Going on Raw right now. And then to your point, a lot of the rest of the show was just very kind of recycled. We've seen it, time and time again. I'll go through some of it quickly, and you can touch on anything that, you want to call out of the ordinary. Asuka defeated Rhea Ripley in another just controversial match because they can't ever just have a clean match between the two of them because, we have to protect Rhea Ripley, but we also have to protect Asuka. And it's like, when are we actually going to just like, don't do the match then? Do a match with Kyrie then, if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like why do we keep having to like have these sort of just nonsense finishes with the mist or just like let somebody win, let somebody lose. It's perfectly okay to have people win and lose. You don't need hodgepodge finishes all the time because that was a thing
So
on this show.
I agree with you, but in this case, I don't. I think that the way that they did it for this one with having EO accidentally distract her was a good thing to put in the fans' minds that EO and Rhea aren't really an actual team. And there's the chance that they're not quite still on the same page going into this match with the Kabuki Warriors. Because honestly, if you think about it, the Kabuki Warriors should just win because of the fact that they're an established tag team going up against two singles wrestlers who are paired together. So you got to kind of put a little bit of that doubt in their mind. I'm glad because if it would have been just another like missed ending, 100% I'd agree with you. But the way that they did it with it being EO accidentally screwing up, I think was the smart play there. Especially because Kyrie has been having matches lately and she's been eating losses.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm just so tired of it because we saw the same thing in the Bailey match as well, right? Like it's distraction finish and then somebody wins, right? And then I mean, and I get it. Like I get you're kind of quasi furthering a story and you kind of were doing the same thing in the Bailey match, like, you're quasi furthering a story, but I can only take so much more of that. And then on top of that, like Raquel gets rewarded for that nonsense. Like I don't love any of that. Like
So
just to catch our audience up. So Bailey had her match with the Judgment Day with Roxanne, and Bailey picked up the win because initially Liv had distracted the ref, which allowed Roxanne to undo the middle turnbuckle. Bailey charged into it, which looked pretty nasty when she did, which allowed Roxanne to get the pin, but then Raquel screws up, distracts the ref again, to which Liv goes over and yells at her, and then allows Lyra to take them both out, and then Bailey gets slapped in the face by Lyra, which apparently gives her superpowers, and then she wins the match, like right after that with the elbow off the top rope. But it's like, again, let's just have random finish. Let's just have a normal finish here. Am I being too hard on this? I just feel like I
so
am because I feel like that the storytelling and the creative is just all over the place and like they just can't tell a coherent story like at all.
so you're being a little bit hard on it, but I do also agree with a lot of that. But I think that the problem is WWE has so many storylines involving like factions and things going on that are all tied together that it's kind of writing them into a corner with needing to protect how they want the storyline to go. I think that it's hysterical that Lyra's figured out that slapping Bailey will trigger her psychosis and turn on her crazy. And I think absolutely every time she does it, I start laughing because it's like you're going to slap the crazy into her and she's just going to go out there and be nuts. But Raquel technically isn't getting rewarded for what she did. She's getting rewarded because Stephanie wants to prove that she can beat multiple people, which I think is the correct way to tell that storyline with getting both Raquel and Nikki into that match and having Raquel and Nikki then have their own storyline out of it so they can both be away from the title picture because I think that's the smart plan. I think that's how WWE is going to do it.
Well,
But
they're both heels though.
doesn't matter. They can still be mad at each other. Especially
I mean,
did you see Raquel's face? I mean, they can write that into the storyline that Nikki busted Raquel's face. And I think we're going to see a face turn from Raquel Rodriguez, to be honest with you. Because as part of the breakup of the Judgment Day, I think there's going to be a face turn for Big Mama Sexy or whatever the hell she's calling herself nowadays.
I just I guess, but then again, it's another point of mine, right? Like these never-ending feuds. And I talked about this one a couple of times. We both did. We both were okay with Nikki Bella when she first came back and
Mm-hmm.
she was doing her thing for a little while there. Okay, I'm done with it now. I'm done with it now, and it needs to be done now. I don't want her near the title anymore. Like, that's enough. She's had two matches now with Stephanie. Like that's enough. Now we're getting a third one, which is a triple threat on the the Netflix debut between her, Stephanie, and Raquel, to which Stephanie, I assume, will win. But again, like, it's probably to your point going to be another stupid finish, right? Like maybe then Raquel or Nikki will cost Raquel or vice versa, and one of them will eat the pin, and then maybe, yeah, you're right. Maybe then they go off into their own feud, which, God, I can only hope so because I don't want either one of them near the title picture. You need to get a real challenger for Stephanie, and it needs to probably be Liv.
The triple threat is to showcase that Stephanie is that good that she can beat two people, and especially when she doesn't have the champion's advantage. And like I said, it's to get Raquel and Nikki out of the title picture because, like you said, we talked up Nikki when she first came back. She looked good for versus what she used to look like, and mind you, she still can look halfway decent out there, but she shouldn't be in that spotlight. And
Hmm.
honestly, you just honestly talking about somebody from the past made me think of something we didn't mention as far as that Maxine and Becky match. I think that Becky is going to lose because I think AJ is going to come back. But I think
Yeah,
that
forgot about that.
I
Yeah.
you just reminded me of that by us talking about Nikki. But back to Nikki Bella, I think that she's better utilized in now that she's had her title match and that filler feud for these 2 months here to get past the holidays. I think that you can then move her back to where she needs to be and helping put other people over.
That's fair.
I really do think
I
that
have a real
that's what
problem with the way the women's main event scene has been being booked on both shows. Like there's just
I'm
nobody feels like a credible challenger to either one of the title holders. Whereas like with the men, you have like 10 people on both of them who are credible challengers to these titles.
I'm convinced that Raquel and Nikki have only been involved in the title picture for Raw to get through the holidays.
I hope you're right. We obviously did make a note as well that there will be a match between the Usos and the AJ Styles and Dragon Lee coming up, and yeah, then the last match, the other it wasn't the last match, but the only other match we didn't make note of was Javon Evans versus Rayo Americano, which was fine. I mean, this was mostly a squash, but I mean, this is, kind of an Evans audition, if you will, for the main roster, even though he was on the PLE a couple of weeks ago. But he's going to be great. He's just incredible. I've heard that him and somebody else are pretty much full time
Rick,
going to be on the main roster. Trick and then Joe
yeah,
Hendry as well. pretty much just gonna skip NXT entirely, and then Oba eventually once he loses the title as well, which is interesting. So,
I'm really surprised that they didn't give Javon Evans a chance with the NXT title. I'm not necessarily against it because this what these last couple of matches, like the PLE one and the one last night, did a real good job of showcasing Javon to the
mhm.
crowd. And he going up against Pete Dunne, allegedly, is a good choice because
Yeah.
it was a squash, but it wasn't like a normal squash. I mean, Rayo Americano, we don't know a ton about him other than that he kind of wrestles like Pete Dunne for a Mexican. But I think that that's a good spot for that kind of thing is to showcase other people. Like I would like to see Trick Williams get a shot in a match like that. But
Hmm.
my God, Devon Evans is so fluid in the ring.
Oh my
Like
God, yeah. Oh
he
my
can
God,
he
yeah.
can even like turn things that look like it's going to be a mistake into like a move. It's incredible. And he sells better than half the roster. He like his whole thing is let's get bouncy and it's not a joke.
The way he
I
can
like
like catapult himself over the ropes with such like fluidity and grace is
yeah,
incredible to watch. There are very few people that can jump over the ropes like he can. Like, who comes to mind is Montez from the Street Profits.
yeah.
Like it's the same. It feels very the same to me from that. And that's, I mean, if you can move like that, that's a high bar. I mean, because Montez is awesome.
I think he's even more athletic than Montez. And Montez is like
Well, I
top
mean,
tier.
yeah, I mean, he's 10 years younger than him. So
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what him, Trick, and Joe Hendry do on the main WWE roster. I didn't realize Hendry was skipping NXT.
that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what, has been being
I mean, we
reported.
know
So,
he's getting a match against Miz at least.
yeah, which that's a good thing. It's a fine starting point.
Oh, Miz is always a great person to start against. The dude's safe in the ring. And he is believable in the ring.
Yeah, and he'll make him look good. He'll absolutely
Yep.
make him look good. So
Like
perfectly, yeah, perfectly okay with that for Joe Hendry. And I like Joe Hendry. And I think he's had enough time in and around the title picture. I don't really think he needs to be in NXT.
no. Um, I do before we get to anything else here, want to mention they when they showcased the Judgment Day coming into the arena on the show last night, you could tell that this was obviously a pre-taped show because Dominic was with the Judgment Day. And if you watched the AAA show this past weekend, Dominic suffered potentially a pretty serious shoulder injury at the AAA show. So I'm hoping that whatever they find for him, it's not as bad as it sounds because to lose him and what he brings as far as the crowd reactions and everything and to
Hmm.
the Judgment Day with those titles is going to be, it's going to suck.
Well, it's the last thing that group needs is another long hiatus of like storytelling,
Yeah.
like you don't obviously ever want to see anybody get hurt, but like at the same time, that group just getting Liv back, that group does not need to stall anymore. Like they need to, we need to start moving some of the storytelling forward with that group.
And watching the AAA match after it happened because it didn't look like it was anything crazy when it happened, but he was not moving his right arm and shoulder like at all for the rest of the match. I'm shocked that he finished the match.
Mm. I mean, it speaks to the kid's toughness. I'll say that for him.
Yeah,
So,
get well for whatever it ends up being, and like I said, it'll suck to. I mean, I know we like to hate on him, but it's just from the crowd reaction, it'll suck because the crowds love Dom.
yeah, no, that's fair. So, yeah, so that was Monday Night Raw. What is your final rating for the show?
So in honor of this being a pre-taped episode, I'm going to give it a pre-taped 2.5.
Taped 2.5. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff did move some stories forward, and I mean, there was I don't love controversial finishes, and this episode was just filled with them. Almost every match, except for the Javon Evans match, had some kind of controversial finish, and I'm just really tired of controversial finishes. So I think with that, I would give this Raw a slap in the face, gives me my superpower out of 5.
It's
So
not a superpower.
So that is our show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. We do read and respond to all of them, and we appreciate the commentary that you guys have been giving us. We definitely have found that it helps to move along a lot of, not even move along, but like helps to really get the story, get what we're trying to say over a little bit more, and also really helps to give us new ideas, new things to like to think about because some of the stuff that you guys have brought to the table, I've been like, I never would have even thought of that, like at all. And I love that. Like I love the fantasy booking. So please keep that coming because it's absolutely awesome. So thank you guys as always. Have yourselves a fantastic evening, a happy holiday, and take care.